Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about my cars and trucks and SUVs, dogs, motorcycles. Hey, good morning there. Thanks for tuning in to my channel this morning. Anybody's new, appreciate you checking it out to listen to my mouth run this morning for about 30 minutes about views and ideas and state of the times. And hey, come on, get over here. It's always about, think about this. So for me, this is no lie. Since 1996, I have walked, 1996, I worked out of that home. But since 2005, I have actually walked out of that house over to here to my office. So that's hard to believe. That's 22 years. Or is that right? 23 years? Wow. Wow, 23 years that I've been commuting from my house to my barn to get my office. Yeah, that's just a nice change. A lot of people now don't even do that. No, well, come on, let's go. And I drink. I'm doing tea. I have been coughing and hacking like crazy, but I've been drinking coffee like all day long lately. And yesterday I was like, you know what? It's got to be this coffee. It's just way too much coffee. So this morning, I'm drinking ginseng tea. See, that kind of changed up. Oh, well. Oh, my goodness. I mean, what a weekend. Who would ever pictured that I'd have a piglet sitting in my garage? If you watch my channel, you'll understand what I mean by that. I brought home a hog. I officially have a Harley-Davidson hog in my garage. Being that it is the enthusiast collection of Harley-Davidson Street Glide ST series, the performance side with the 117 motor, and Harley-Davidson took the Piglet, the mascot from the 1920 era of the flat track racing, dirt track racing, I guess, and they made it into a special edition Harley-Davidson, which I just love this setup. I just love the bike. I wanted a Harley-Davidson ST Street Glide last year, and the numbers just didn't make any sense. So, wow, if you're watching my channel, you know all about this. Look how similar it is to the Hellcat Charger color in some ways. That's the Frostbite Blue. I don't even know. I'm so clueless this color and the whole bike. I mean, wow. Just, wow. This just happened so by accident. I mean, wow. That's just how it is for me. Change, right? It's all about the change up. Well, that's what I do all the time. I change things up. And if you stay in tune, you always know that there's something new that's going to be changed up here on my channel. Even I don't even realize I'm going to do that. I mean, wow. Just what a weekend. Talk about being tired. I mean, wow. I mean, just a full-blown weekend of me taking apart my one bike, putting this other bike back together. This has been 24/7. And the dealership is over 100 miles away from where I live. So that was a freaking project. And now I've got my rough country E-steps for my Ford Tremor to put those on. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And it's Monday morning. Yeah, wow. What a weekend of adventure. So change. Thought to myself, have I talked about the change? I don't know. I don't think I have. I'm always going to have a different theme for the title of change. And if anybody's in tune with me, they'll be like, yeah, this guy constantly changes vehicles more than anybody changes their oil in vehicles. Or some people say change your underwear. Yeah, that's like a too personal, right? All right, let me sit on down here, get the day going. Wow. I mean, wow. To think what started Saturday and what ended up on Sunday, Jesus Christ. Even for me. Did I have any clue on Friday that I would end up this weekend buying another Harley-Davidson motorcycle? I mean, I didn't. I didn't. And it's so weird. It's all because of things happen in my life where I end up being somewhere, and then I get intrigued to see what some local dealer nearby where I'm going has something, and I'm actually looking for something different. I mean, that Harley Davidson Street Glide ST package, I actually logged in to the website of the Harley dealer looking for that breakout. I mean, I really want to get a breakout. I really like that Harley Davidson breakout. It's just a town bike, but it's not radically expensive, and it's a motorcycle that I think will always have really a good value to it. And I think also that it'll be, in so many ways, kind of sought after. Because Harley Davidson has so changed up the way they do business. I mean, years ago they fired that guy, Mike. Can't remember his name, but the new CEO that came in, the Puma guy, that's what I call him. I don't even know his official name, just to show you how. I mean, I haven't even researched that. So the whole new marketing plan with the new CEO and the marketing lady from the Kitty Cat company, PetSmart or whatever, they changed the way that they produce these high-end, expensive CVO motorcycles, which I'm glad they did, because I was so disappointed 10 years ago when I buy a CVO motorcycle and everybody and a brother, they would just mass produce them. It was ridiculous. And just like years ago, same thing with the Hellcats. I used to complain about the Dodge Hellcats years ago, then how they just mass produce them. But it's like, but it just ruins the value of a specialty vehicle. And not everybody can afford these things. So years and years ago, 2016, 2017, Dodge had to resort to getting creative with these giveaway leases. I called it the poor man's lease, where people could lease a Hellcat for $500 a month with little to no money down, because the residual value on them was such a good value. And so, back in 2016, 17, it was ridiculous. Dodge overbuilt the Hellcat product because every brother wanted one, but not everybody can afford one. How many people hear the story of somebody wanting something, but in the end, they don't have the money to buy it? So the whole point is, Harley got smart. They just totally pulled back on ramping up production of specialty bikes that are very expensive, so it kind of keep the flavor of the bike even more sought after and wanted. And for the owners, they would still have respectable value for their motorcycle. Versus the Hellcats, this is crazy. This is no lie. Back in 2016, January 2016, I got my Redline Charger Hellcat. I think it was called Redline. No, I don't think it was. You can't even remember all the damn colors. But think about this. 2016, I got the first year of production, Dodge Charger Hellcat. And I put the black, wrap on the hood. Beautiful car, great car. And I think in 2018, I sold that car. I think Coons Baltimore Ford gave me like $42,000 for that, like $64,000 Hellcat. It may have been 44. I think it was $42,000. There was just like nobody out there. It was pitiful. Some guy from Washington State flew into Coons Baltimore Ford and picked that car up. That guy to this day, I guarantee, is laughing all the way to the bank. Because, when can you buy a Hellcat? It probably had, maybe 5,000 miles on it. It was cherry. And I traded it for a Ford Focus RS package. Why the hell did I do that? Who the hell knows? Should have kept that damn thing too. So the whole point is, back in that time frame, 2017, 18, you can hear stories of people about how many Dodge vehicles were sitting on lots. Yes, the Hellcats. There were cars that were a year, close to 2 model years old, just sitting on the lots that people didn't want to buy them. Yes, because Dodge overproduced a specialty product that was very expensive for the general market that it's in. So Harley Davidson, thank goodness, for the moment, we'll see if it lasts, they for the most part re-strategize the marketing strategy. But here's the thing: finish up with the Dodge Hellcat. I mean, come on, where's the Hellcat product today? Yeah, I'd like to hear somebody tell me they can go buy a 2022 Dodge Charger Hellcat with 5,000 miles on it for $42,000. I'd love to hear that story. There's no way. I mean, I could believe the story of a narrow body in this maybe 75, something like that in the 70s. Not no 42 grand. Yeah, what's the change? Yeah, just the economy, inflation, the change. We'll get to that later. So for Harley-Davidson, here they changed up the way they market their higher end products, and then, as everybody knows, not everybody does know this, but when the Indian and Harley got the attitudes to go race each other again, and they created this bagger series. That's a really cool series to watch and to see, and that's what that motorcycle down there, the average person, they're not going to notice anything different about the look of that bike. They're going to be like, isn't that like a Harley-Davidson Street Glide? That's like, exactly, it is. And the only difference really is, aesthetic-wise, is the bags are shorter. They're not as tall. They're not as deep. So the whole idea is it's a change-up on the Street Glide's look and performance, and it has the CVO motor, the 117 motor, which that's all changing for 2023 because the new CVO Street Glide is going to have the new 121 motor. So the 117 motor is now going bye-bye, per se, in the CVO lineup. So that change has happened as well. So for the Street Glide to the change for Harley, they got creative. And they took the Street Glide platform and they just made it more of the performance-oriented platform by creating the ST. But you could say, yeah, but the CVO is a performance-oriented platform. Correct, it is. But it's more expensive. So I think that ST is like a $33,900 bike. But the way that Enthusiast collection is, I think it raises the price by $2 or $3,000. I was never fixated on replacing that red Street Glide that I own. I really like that color combination and look. So I really like that motorcycle. Even though, ironically, last September of last year, if you watch my channel, I tried to negotiate a deal on a black Challenger. Jeez, yeah. Do I need some more? Does the tea give me the caffeine? I need the change up on from the coffee to the tea. Does it give me my caffeine I can eat out of the coffee after going nonstop every day? Jesus Christ. So the change up, so the CVO Street Glide, yeah, it's a performance model. But like I was just saying, the price of last fall, me trying to negotiate a deal on the ST, I don't know that I was really getting the price that I think it was overpriced. I mean, I know it was. So I'm not fixated so much on the Harley brand product that I was just really wanting to buy another Street Glide. I really was not, by any means, it was a breakout. The CVO breakout is what I was saying to myself. I wonder if I had one of those. Now, what would I give for that? You with me, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm just always constantly changing the ride up, changing the bike up, and that's what it is. It's all about the change. So Harley-Davidson really has done a great job, on my eyes, of getting more creative in their marketing and their product line and mixing it up. They really, really giving some really cool looking motorcycles that, like for me, and many others, they're really drawn to that look and they want that motorcycle. And having that package of the CVO packaged in so many ways, but not as expensive. And that's the thing. That motorcycle there is $36,999. A CVO Street Glide today, I'm sure, is $43,999. I would think the 121 motor coming out, I think that's probably a $44,999 bike. So I would say conservative, that bike is $7,000, $8,000 difference in price from a CVO. Yeah, CVO is going to give you a little nicer seat. It's going to give you the speakers and the saddlebags, but it becomes a much heavier motorcycle. So anyways, but also for me, the change, it's incredible on how the change of the ride on a Harley-Davidson from an Indian, I mean, it is night and day. It is truly And for me, if I didn't own these motorcycles, I would be a person to be like, this guy's full of baloney. It's a motorcycle. There's no way that this Harley Davidson product or Indian product. There's just no way. I'm not embellishing here. When I get on that Harley Davidson, it feels like a dirt bike to me because it's such a smaller platform bike. I mean, it's crazy on my Chieftain or my Challenger Indian, those motorcycles, it is night and day on your body posture and the width of your arms and the length of the sit on the bike. The bike, it just feels like a much bigger bike. That Harley Davidson Street Glide ST, that thing feels like a freaking, it feels like a small motorcycle. It doesn't feel it on the weight side, but when I saddle up that thing, it's like, wow. And then you're so much more cramped on the ride. And so some people are like, well, why would you buy the damn Harley Davidson? It's because I like the change up of the different rides. That's just who I am. I mean, why do I have all these different cars and trucks? Because it's always about me wanting to experience the change up of the drive. That's just who I am. I've been like that my whole life, and that's my challenge in life. I guess if I'm brand new, and it doesn't last very long because I want to change up. I get bored of it. So years ago, I thought I could resolve that problem by having lots of cars all at one time. Yeah, I mean, sincerely, years ago, I thought to overcome my constant addiction to selling my brand new car I just bought a year ago or 6 months ago or whatever it may be, I would just have lots of vehicles and that would tame down the constant, change up of ride. It's gotten worse, right? Wow. Yeah. I mean, the change. Yeah. Yeah. Who am I kidding besides myself? So, oh my gosh. Hey, the wife wasn't, thank God the wife was kind of like, yeah, whatever. It's all good. Got the blessing from the wife. You definitely want to have that when you have a motorcycle. Anybody who buys a motorcycle, trust me, you want to have the love and the right attitude and the energy around you about that bike. You don't want to be out buying a motorcycle when you're fighting with your wife or your girlfriend or the family. You don't want to do it. It's the wrong energy. Can't emphasize enough. People die on motorcycles all the time, die in cars. Sad story here. 2 weekends ago, a guy, I guess a passenger on a motorcycle, he drove out of the it's a two-way highway road, main road I live on here, about 25 miles south of here. And probably guy, it sounds like he was on a Harley Davidson motorcycle, came out into the road and met a truck and trailer. He's done. They're done. I mean, wow. You just think, how did that happen? Or were they too far to the edge of that line and the guy in the truck and trailer who knows? I have no idea. But the whole point is, make sure when you go out and get your motorcycle that everybody's on the same page. You need that Gremlin bell put on your bike. Yeah, if you don't know what that is, research it. Have somebody gift you a Gremlin bell. You want all the hope and safety around you as possible. And yesterday, we were thinking about riding, and I changed it up. I left all my gear down in Tennessee, which I rarely do, because I really thought we'd be back there this past weekend. So technically, if the kid wants to go riding, she doesn't really even have her riding gear. So that's a whole nother variable. So we're going to ride up here, but we're going back down to Tennessee, I think, Thursday. So, but then the question is, do I haul the Harleys down to Tennessee? Well, the wife already has me on a to-do project to go pick up some furniture that needs the truck and trailer to take it to Tennessee. So, and then here's the other thing. Do I change it up? Do I just cross the bridge? And, do I keep the Harleys and sell the Indians? Do I sell the Harleys and keep the Indians? Yeah, it gets to you. Yeah, right. Is that going to happen? The Indians, they're such a great bike, but the kid is so addicted to the Harley. She just loves that Street Bob. I'm not lying. That Street Bob is, I'd have to say, if I sold everything, as long as she had the Street Bob, it was all said and done, she'll be like happy as can be. If I sold that Street Bob, she'd be so disappointed. Yeah, so the change, and here's the thing. I talked to the dealer. I actually met the owner of the Harley Davidson dealership. He owns 3 dealerships, and I'm thinking this is some long term, really like 34. I'm thinking a 50-year family hierarchy of owning motorcycle dealerships. No, this guy that I met that's within reason of my age, he just bought his first Harley dealership in 2015. Now, he came from a car family that owns car dealerships, which there's the hierarchy right there of the deep pockets. Because you need deep pockets to buy a Harley dealership. It's big money. But, so apparently, just in 2018, he bought that dealership over in Darlington, Maryland, Eisenhower Harley. So apparently, he just did that a while back. And then he just recently, a year and a half ago, bought the York, Pennsylvania Harley dealership that's right next to the York manufacturing. So this guy's relatively new in the game, but not so much. I mean, he's been in the industry now for close to over 8 years. But I talked to him, and you could really tell, you could just sense that he was a little, it just seems like something's going on. So change. And that's what my thought process was this morning was, let's talk about change. And it just seems like more than ever, we're witnessing change around us. And I think so many people don't like the change. I mean, I think I talk about all the time, the EV age. So many people don't want anything to do with the EV age. And in fact, even a guy I mentioned the other day, he's like, I talked to excuse me, there's my, hey, even the frickin', I sometimes even question tea helping me better or worse. Yeah, Jesus Christ. GERD, the life of GERD, anybody watch my channel, it sucks. As I continue to drink it, right? Just make it worse. And that's what it is. It just irritates your esophagus. It's a known fact. Millions and millions have it. So anyways, the guy said to me the other day, he's like, you would have been better off buying another F-250 Tremor truck over an electric vehicle truck you bought. That F-150 truck, Lightning truck, that's a $90,000 truck is worth $65 right now, maybe. He's like, if you would have bought a $90,000 Tremor truck, I guarantee you the dealership would give you every bit of $85 or $90 for it. I'm like, yep. Yeah, I mean, you're better off still buying a gas vehicle. Even though over a year ago, buying electric vehicles seemed to make so much sense. But the change of fuel prices changed people's attitudes. So, that and people, I think, starting to realize that the electric vehicles aren't the answer as somebody want to push. So the change of people's position on everybody want to go buy those right away is changed as well. So, but going back to the Harley dealership, it's all about the change. And wow, I mean, it's really unfortunate because the whole personnel has changed out since I was at that Harley dealership since September of last year. There's only a few select people at that dealership. So you have to say to yourself, what is going on? Well, there's no doubt. We know what's going on. The things are changing. There isn't the same pandemic business model where everybody and their brother is running out and buying things left and right. So you have to adjust people's incomes. So there's no doubt in my mind. One person that works there at the dealership, point blank, has been had their position taken away to a different position because they don't make as much money anymore. So that person lost that position to a different position so the owner could put a new person in a position to pay them less. So it's been a whole clean house there. So what does that tell you? But I could just sense through the owner's presence and just who I am that, he's nervous because they're not hitting the numbers they used to hit. And they've lost a lot of key people because it's always about the money. But when the money isn't coming in the same and you can't continue to pay people the same. So I think there is a serious change that's going on, which it's just so many mixed signals out there. But at the same time, more and more you are reading and hearing stories of hardships on people. And, the things really are starting to catch up from inflation and the change really here is upon us. But one thing I was talking to the owner about, I said, 10 years from now, I bet you half this showroom will be electric vehicles. And he was kind of like, I don't know. I don't think so. I said, well, and here's the thing. to give the gentleman, credit for his obligations, he travels in between his 3 stores all week. He has to be at every store different days to kind of keep an eye on each one of them. So he's had a lot on his table. 3 Harley dealerships. Yeah, he has a partner. Point is, he just isn't into that time. Just like me, I've been so overwhelmed of getting this motorcycle done this past weekend, that to be able to just hang out and read and get about a lot of information and knowledge, it's very challenging because I'm just overwhelmed with all the things I'm doing and work and everything else. So for him, I already know he just doesn't have time to watch YouTube channels. He doesn't have time to be sitting there watching TV, and he just has too much on his plate. So I really was talking to him about where I think the trends are going, and he just was like, yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm like, it will happen because the CEO of Harley Davidson will be forced to hand by the Green Agenda, by the Green Agenda's monies, the organizations. I was just telling the funding organizations out there that are going to these major manufacturers and forcing the hand to change the way they do business and what they make and convert to the different forms of energy to make things move. I was like, there's no way. The board members and the stockholders and the Green Agenda people will overrule the CEO of what he wants to continue to do on making ICE Harley Davidson motorcycles. So there's no doubt in my mind that 10 years from now, I bet you half this showroom or more will be electric motorcycles. And he's just kind of like, what a joke. I'm like, yeah, right. But that's what's going on. We're at the highest rate of change ever. This new administration passing that, and I told him, but he doesn't know his language. He really doesn't. And he actually was appreciative for me taking the time to talk to him and give him, information that he just really isn't in tune with. But that's concerning. Here's a guy that's got hundreds, millions and millions of dollars of investments and commitments, and he's not even so in tune with that the future of the manufacturing is going to control his infrastructure of what he does more than ever, because he just bought these places. This is huge monies to go buy and finance these dealerships. And to carry the notes, I guarantee that guy has $100,000 a month obligation for that dealership I bought my motorcycle from. I guarantee you, between payroll, money on the property, and the list goes on and on and on. People are like, oh no, well, if you have 25, 30 people working for you, 25 times $4,000 a month, that's $100,000 income payroll a month. I mean, hello? If his real estate mortgage is, let's just say he mortgaged $5 million on the property or buying the business, that could be another 20 grand, 30 grand a month. I mean, the rent on that building, go try to rent that size building, that would be $30,000, $40,000 a month for renting a building like that in this area here. 20 grand minimum. So for him, he's open basically 27 days out of the month. I mean, I know these things because I was in his side of the equation. So just $100,000 divided by 26 days, he needs, close to $4,000 a day profit just to break even. I mean, and that number could be low because of payroll. Yeah, and that's where it all goes. Because the change comes into the payroll. So the whole point is, he isn't even really in tune with, but this is a guy it is like this guy's some fool. I mean, this guy's successful for a reason. Smart guy. But the whole point is, the manufacturers are going to dictate the future of his business model, of his business. And over the next 10 years, it's going to be a different business model. I mean, just as, I think you could use the pandemic as an extreme example of within a 3-year time frame from a pandemic to back to normal times. No way. There's story after story of so many people that are low-level people that have lost good jobs meaning lost their jobs of making decent money because of the change up of how people go to work, meaning remote working. So all these janitors and lower level people that talked about it many times, and the inner city structure of all these businesses and rely on the masses coming to work every day, that's gone in so many areas of our country. So many people that are the blue collar worker, they're struggling like never seen before in so many areas of the country because you don't have that good old go to work business model anymore. Not everybody, but so many people are now remote working, and it's had a huge impact in so many sectors of the economy. But it's just really starting to come to light of people that are struggling, that they're coming to an end, or they're struggling. They just don't have any more reserves of money, or the conditions of the employer, or businesses that were committed to obligations, that those obligations have come to an end. I mean, there's so many things changing in front of us. Then you go to artificial intelligence. Wow. And what that change is going to do? Oh my gosh! I just think this artificial intelligence. I mean, they're already talking about how it's writing code. Yeah. So if you write code, they're already talking about how artificial intelligence now. And keep in mind, it's very infant stages. It's nothing that's going to replace code writers overnight. But as time progresses, all these people that make these huge, incomes from having these incredible smarts and technology and years of training, and the list goes on and on and on. Artificial intelligence is going to swoop up and just tell that person to go home. And what are they going to do? Are they going to be a waitress? Are they going to be a waiter? I mean, are they going to be cutting grass? Wow. Yeah, the change that's here, and like I say, in so many ways, I think more than ever we're witnessing, it's the force of change. But that's what's so interesting more than ever, is it's the force of change that is more than ever in modern times. And this Inflation Reduction Act, for the greed of the businessmen and businesswomen, they see huge opportunities to take advantage of the governing body of our country that's handing out billions of dollars in taxpayers' money to change the way transportation operates, and to change the way that you get power to do things. But the power. So it's the power. I mean, you think about it. In the end, it's all about the power. Man, it's just embarrassing to hack and cough in front of a YouTube channel, but that's just part of the GERD life. And it's sitting down. When you sit down, it compresses your esophagus, and that's what creates it. So, anyways, I'm kind of leave it at that. It's not easy making these videos every day of your life, which I do. And I try to keep the channel going and keep people informed, views and ideas. And it's so much deeper than the change. I mean, I could spend all morning long, which I'm not going to do it. I just really wanted to share my continued excitement about my craziness of my addictions of buying things, which is, even for me, all of that work, and I even knew that. Even Saturday knew it would turn into a long Saturday, it just turned into so much work for a material thing. The power of these vehicles, what do they do? I mean, in the end, what is it all about, right? I mean, just wow. And I just think to myself, I saw a guy walk into that showroom that wanted that bike, and I just think, if you saw this person, and no criticism to anybody, but if you saw this person, you'd have to actually say, this person's in a park this thing's garage and never ride it. Wait a second. Who's that, right? But I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, there's no doubt in my mind. For me, the odds are I'll park it, but then I'll probably trade it for something else. I mean, it just gives somebody else fun time at my expense because they got something very nice for a deal. Just like my Indian bobber that I sold to a gentleman in Ohio. If that guy isn't loving that motorcycle, I mean, oh my gosh. And that guy, he saved himself $6,000. Wow. All right, what am I going to change up next, right? I am so slammed with work. I am slammed. I mean, there's so much going on right now. So, anyways, I appreciate everybody watching my channel, the nice comments, seeing the support, share the channel, and once again, it's just all about sharing the fun factor, which that's the goal, to have fun, right? And our goal, let's have fun. There's just too much negativity in our country right now. Yeah, where's the change gone? To me, the change has not been for the better. I don't believe it's been for the better. We need new change. We need new energy. We need new power. Let's focus on that, right? Hey, everybody, thanks for watching my channel. And have a great day. God bless. Stay safe and stay tuned. And what am I doing next, right? Yikes.